People all over the world spend billions of dollars every single year on experimental anti-aging creams, magical dietary supplements, and exhausting physical workout routines, desperately believing that the ultimate secret to a long life comes in a plastic bottle or from breaking a terrible sweat in a crowded gym. But the truth is something entirely different. In Japan, we have the highest life expectancy on the planet, with women routinely living well past 87 years old, and men easily reaching their mid-80s with grace and vitality. We have more centenarians walking our quiet streets, tending to their beautiful gardens, and living fully independent, joyful lives than anywhere else in the world. Yet, if you walk through a traditional Japanese neighborhood, you will not see people obsessing over the latest longevity fads, gulping down unnatural protein shakes, or meticulously counting every single calorie they place on their plates. Today, I am going to share with you 8 daily habits that the Japanese practice effortlessly, habits that scientifically and culturally explain why we live longer, healthier, and much more peaceful lives. These are not impossible, grueling routines, but rather quiet, intentional choices that completely transform the way your body and mind age over the decades. And while all 8 of these habits are incredibly powerful on their own, there is one specific practice among them that our elders consider the absolute most important. It is a profound secret that holds everything else together, but I will only reveal it at the very end of this video. By the time we finish our time together today, you will understand that living a beautifully long life is not about aggressively fighting against time, but rather learning how to flow alongside it. Are you ready to see how a few invisible changes can completely redefine your future? Before we explore these 8 transformative habits, we must understand the invisible foundation that supports our entire culture. In the West, aging is very often seen as a terrible battle. It is viewed as an enemy to be defeated, a tragic decline to be delayed and hidden at all costs. But in Japan, we view the inevitable passage of time through a completely different, much more forgiving lens. We have a beautiful concept called wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi essentially means finding profound beauty in imperfection and gracefully accepting the natural, unstoppable cycle of growth, decay, and death. Instead of fighting the inevitable turning of the seasons, we respect the worn, chipped edges of a well-used ceramic teacup. We admire the changing, fading colors of the autumn maple leaves, and we celebrate the silver hair that crowns an experienced, wise mind. This simple shift in your mental perspective removes an enormous amount of chronic, toxic stress from our daily lives. When you finally stop fighting the clock, your body actually relaxes deeply, instantly lowering dangerous cortisol levels and protecting your fragile heart. For centuries, our ancestors cultivated a lifestyle rooted in harmony, nature, and community, long before modern medical science could prove that these exact elements physically alter our DNA and protect our cells from premature aging. The Japanese mentality simply does not separate the physical body from the emotional spirit. If the mind is constantly agitated, the body will inevitably rust. If the spirit is terribly empty, the heart will eventually fail. The incredible longevity you see in places like the islands of Okinawa is not a random genetic accident. It is the direct, undeniable result of a carefully designed way of living that honors both the physical vessel and the delicate soul inside it. We have gathered the 8 most effective everyday habits that you can begin applying today, no matter where you live in the world, to capture this exact same radiant vitality. So, let us step into the very first secret of Japanese longevity. Before we go further, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do it now and hit the notification bell. Every single week, I bring you Japanese lifestyle secrets, practical philosophy, and gentle wisdom that you simply will not find anywhere else on the internet. I offer these ancient teachings freely to help you find balance, and in return, I only ask that you join our growing, peaceful community. And if this content is already bringing you value today, leaving a gentle like takes just 1 second of your time and makes a truly huge difference in helping this channel reach more people who desperately need a little more peace in their lives. All right, let us get straight into what you came here for and discover exactly how to add beautiful, healthy years to your life. The first habit begins quietly at the dining table, and it is a daily practice that completely contradicts the common Western habit of eating until the plate is completely clean or the stomach feels painfully heavy. In Japan, especially down in the sun-drenched longevity hotspot of Okinawa, we practice something called hara, hachi. This translates simply to eating until you are exactly 80% full. Imagine sitting down to a beautifully arranged, colorful meal. You taste the warm, comforting steamed rice, the savory fermented miso soup, the delicate grilled fish, and the crisp, salty, pickled vegetables. You chew very slowly, consciously savoring every distinct flavor and texture. But instead of mindlessly continuing to eat until you feel stuffed, tired, and lethargic, you gently put your wooden chopsticks down the exact moment you no longer feel truly hungry. You intentionally leave that 20% of empty space inside your stomach. Culturally, this mindful practice stems from ancient Confucian teachings, which have long warned against the spiritual and physical dangers of excess and greed. Scientifically, however, it is an absolute masterclass in cellular longevity. When you eat until you are completely, painfully full, your digestive system is forced to work incredible overtime, drawing massive amounts of energy and generating harmful free radicals, which are the primary culprits of internal cellular aging. By stopping at 80%, you give your body exactly what it needs for fuel without ever overwhelming your delicate organs. It keeps your metabolism burning sharp, prevents dangerous weight gain, and leaves you feeling physically light and energetic. The Western world constantly pushes the idea of more food, larger portions, bigger plates, bottomless drinks. But true vitality always thrives in the elegant space of slightly less. To apply this today, start serving your meals on significantly smaller plates. Eat your food without the loud distraction of a television or the endless scrolling of a phone screen. Pay close attention to the subtle, quiet signals of your own body. When you feel that very first gentle sigh of physical satisfaction, simply stop. Leave the rest. True nourishment is found not in stretching your physical limits, but in deeply respecting your body's delicate boundaries. The second habit is fundamentally about how we choose to move our bodies, and it might genuinely surprise those who believe that living a long life requires intense, painful workouts. Every single morning in Japan, millions of people tune in to a public broadcast to participate in radio taiso, which literally translates as radio calisthenics. From young, energetic schoolchildren to busy construction workers, and especially our vibrant, smiling elderly population, people gather in green parks, schoolyards, and quiet living rooms to perform a short, 3-minute routine of gentle stretching and rhythmic joint movements. There are no heavy, intimidating iron weights. There is no breathless, agonizing exhaustion. There is only the fluid, continuous, beautiful motion of raising the arms, gently twisting the torso, and softly bending the knees to the sound of a cheerful, familiar piano melody. Why do we do this every day? Because traditional Japanese culture profoundly understands that water that flows never goes stagnant, and the exact same principle is true for the human body. In the West, many people sit completely, unnaturally still for 8 to 10 hours at a stiff desk, and then they try to punish their bodies for one intense hour at the gym to make up for it. This creates a terrible cycle of stagnation followed by trauma. Radio taiso, on the other hand, is entirely about waking up the nervous system, gently lubricating the stiff joints, and stimulating warm blood circulation early in the day without causing any stress or microscopic inflammation to the muscles. It is the unbreakable consistency of gentle movement that preserves youthful mobility, not the extreme intensity of occasional exertion. If you want to adopt this life-changing secret, you do not need to learn the exact Japanese routine perfectly. You simply need to commit to just 5 minutes of light, mindful stretching every single morning before you do anything else. Reach your hands up for the sky, slowly rotate your stiff shoulders, twist your spine gently from side to side. Do this daily, absolutely, without fail. A body that moves with joy and gentle ease every single day will stubbornly refuse to grow old and stiff. The third secret, the one almost no one talks about when discussing physical health, goes incredibly far beyond diet or daily exercise. It is the deeply rooted psychological concept of ikigai. Iki beautifully translates to life, and gai translates to value or worth. Together, it represents your deep, undeniable reason for waking up in the morning. In Japanese culture, we simply do not have a traditional concept of retirement in the exact way the West does. The sudden idea of stopping all meaningful work and just sitting idle on a porch for 20 long years is completely foreign to our mindset. Instead, people maintain their personal ikigai until their very last breath. For some, their precious ikigai is passing down the delicate art of traditional calligraphy to their young grandchildren. For others, it is meticulously tending to a small, vibrant vegetable garden in the backyard, or enthusiastically volunteering at the local community center, or perhaps simply brewing the absolute perfect cup of green tea for their beloved spouse every single afternoon. Have you ever noticed how many people in Western countries seem to rapidly, tragically decline in physical health just a few short years after officially retiring? This happens precisely because the human spirit desperately requires a purpose. Without a clear reason to matter to the world, the immune system actually physically weakens. The brain rapidly loses its vital neuroplasticity. Having an ikigai gives you an invisible psychological armor against the many difficulties of aging. It keeps your mind deeply curious, your heart fully engaged, and your days beautifully structured. Finding your ikigai does not mean you have to invent something that saves the world or start a massive, stressful business. It is purely about finding genuine joy and gentle responsibility in the small, daily, quiet contributions you make to the immediate world around you. To practice this powerful habit, ask yourself honestly today, what brings a quiet, genuine smile to my face when I wake up? Who relies on me to be there? What small craft, hobby, or fragile relationship can I nurture today? When you firmly anchor your life to a meaningful purpose, your body will instinctively fight to keep you alive and healthy enough to fulfill it every single day. Now, we get to the one that surprises people the most, the invisible safety net that catches us when we inevitably fall. It is perhaps the most beautiful, touching tradition originating from the southern islands of Okinawa. We lovingly call it moai. A moai is a lifelong dedicated social support group, often formed when we are just little children, that stays fiercely together through every single phase of life. These small groups meet very regularly, sometimes weekly or even daily, to drink warm tea, share harmless gossip, discuss personal finances, and simply be entirely present with one another. If a precious member of the moai suddenly falls ill, the others immediately step in to bring warm food and care for them without ever being asked. If someone faces terrible financial ruin, the group quietly pools their resources together to help them survive. They joyfully celebrate the births of tiny great-grandchildren together, and they stand shoulder to shoulder to mourn the tragic passing of beloved spouses. In many Western countries today, severe loneliness has become a silent, devastating epidemic. People live in massive, incredibly crowded cities, surrounded by millions, but they do not even know the names of their next-door neighbors. Extreme independence is praised so highly that asking for help is tragically seen as a personal weakness. But human beings are deeply social creatures. We are not meant to carry the massive weight of existence alone. Chronic, silent loneliness creates persistent, dangerous inflammation in the body, which modern science has repeatedly proven is just as dangerous to your physical health as smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. The beautiful moai system entirely eliminates this toxic isolation. It mathematically guarantees that no matter how old and frail you get, you are always seen, always deeply valued, and always fiercely protected. You belong to a tribe forever. To bring the magic of the moai into your own busy life, you must actively, intentionally cultivate deep, unconditional friendships. Do not rely solely on the illusion of social media or superficial, quick text messages. Schedule a long, weekly walk with a friendly neighbor. Call a dear, distant friend every single Sunday just to hear the comforting sound of their voice. Commit to a small group of people and promise to be there for them through the radiant good times and the terrifying bad times. Shared joy is always beautifully multiplied, and shared sorrow is always divided. That is the undeniable mathematics of a long, healthy life. If you have made it to the exact halfway point of this video, that already tells me something very special about you. It means you truly care about your long-term quality of life. It means you have the patience to listen, and you are genuinely ready to learn the deeper, quieter truths. So it makes perfect sense to subscribe to the channel right now, so you do not miss the profound wisdom that comes next. New, transformative content drops every single week. And if you have not left a gentle like yet, please do it now. It is a tiny, effortless gesture for you, but it beautifully sustains this channel and helps us grow. All right, let us keep going and uncover the rest of these extraordinary habits. The next habit is much simpler than it sounds, and its profound effect on longevity is absolutely enormous. It is the ancient practice of Shinrin-yoku, which translates poetically and beautifully as forest bathing. This absolutely does not mean taking a physical bath with water in the woods. It means deeply immersing your physical body and mind in the natural atmosphere of the forest, completely allowing your five senses to absorb the sights, sounds, and smells of the vibrant natural world. In Japan, we hold a profound, almost spiritual reverence for the natural environment. We deeply understand that we are not separate, superior beings isolated from nature, but rather a living, breathing extension of it. When modern life becomes far too overwhelming and loud, we do not just take chemical pills to calm our frayed nerves. We silently walk into the ancient trees. We carefully listen to the invisible wind rustling through the tall, green bamboo leaves. We touch the rough, textured bark of massive cedar trees, and we breathe in the cool, damp, earth-scented air. Western science has recently caught up to this ancient Japanese wisdom. Trees naturally release invisible, powerful essential oils called phytoncides to protect themselves from harmful insects and dangerous rot. When human beings breathe in these microscopic phytoncides, our bodies miraculously respond by dramatically increasing the production of natural killer cells, which are the exact immune cells that fiercely fight off illness and actively prevent cancer. Just a few quiet hours spent resting in a forest can significantly lower your blood pressure, reduce toxic cortisol levels, and beautifully boost your immune system for over an entire week. The modern, fast-paced world unfortunately traps us in sterile concrete boxes, forcing us to stare at glowing blue screens under harsh artificial lights, leaving us completely detached from the healing rhythms of the earth. But you can fix this imbalance today. You do not need a vast, untamed wilderness. Find a small local park, a quiet botanical garden, or a simple dirt trail. Walk very slowly. Leave your distracting phone hidden in your pocket. Notice the endless different shades of green. Smell the rich, damp soil after the morning rain, and let the profound quietness of the towering trees absorb your heavy stress. Nature is the most powerful, perfect medicine, and it is entirely, wonderfully free. This is my personal favorite, and I can tell you exactly why, because it is something I do every single day without fail. The sixth habit is the deep integration of green tea, specifically matcha, into our daily routines. In Japan, drinking tea is never just a quick, mindless way to swallow caffeine so we can work harder. It is an intentional, grounding ritual of pause, respect, and incredible physical healing. Matcha is made from the finest, young tea leaves that are carefully shaded from the sun before harvest, which massively increases their chlorophyll and amino acid content. The leaves are then ground into a vibrant, fine green powder. When you drink matcha, you are not just drinking an infused water, you are consuming the entire, nutrient-dense leaf. This emerald liquid is an absolute powerhouse of rare antioxidants, specifically one called ikigai, which is scientifically famous for aggressively fighting cellular inflammation, protecting the fragile heart, and shielding the skin from premature aging. Furthermore, unlike the harsh, jittery spike of energy you get from Western coffee, matcha contains a unique amino acid called L-theanine. This magical compound promotes a state of calm, relaxed alertness. It gives you steady, clear energy while simultaneously soothing your anxious nervous system. Culturally, the Japanese tea ceremony, known as sado, teaches us that preparing and drinking tea should be an act of complete mindfulness. It forces you to stop rushing, to appreciate the delicate warmth of the ceramic cup in your hands, and to taste the slightly bitter, earthy flavor with full attention. The Western world treats hot beverages as fuel for endless productivity, gulping them down while driving or typing. We treat tea as medicine for the body and a necessary pause for the soul. To practice this longevity habit, replace just one of your daily cups of harsh coffee with a high-quality green tea or authentic matcha. Do not add heaps of artificial sugar or heavy syrups. Prepare it slowly. Boil the water, whisk the vibrant green powder, and sit down in complete silence to drink it. Let the soothing warmth spread through your chest, and know that with every single sip, you are literally drinking the ancient elixir of long life. Almost no one talks about the next one outside of Japan, and that is precisely why it works so beautifully. The seventh habit is the daily practice of soaking in hot water, a tradition we call ofuro. In Japan, taking a bath is not merely about washing dirt off your physical body. It is a sacred, non-negotiable daily ritual of washing away the mental and physical fatigue of the entire day. Whether it is in a natural volcanic hot spring known as an onsen, or simply in the deep, square bathtub found in almost every single Japanese home, submerging the body in very warm water every night is a cornerstone of our exceptional health. When you sink into a deep bath of water heated to exactly 40 degrees Celsius, something magical happens internally. The heat causes your blood vessels to gently expand, which dramatically improves blood circulation, rushing fresh oxygen and vital nutrients to every single extremity of your tired body. This gentle cardiovascular passive exercise lowers blood pressure over time and massively reduces stiffness in the joints and muscles. Furthermore, the hydrostatic pressure of the water gently squeezes the body, reducing swelling in the legs and incredibly calming the central nervous system. In the West, people often take rushed, 5-minute lukewarm showers just to get clean so they can quickly jump back into their busy lives or fall exhausted into bed. They carry all the physical tension of the day straight into their sleep, leading to poor rest and chronic fatigue. The Japanese understand that to sleep perfectly, the body must first let go of the day. A daily hot bath naturally raises your core body temperature, and the subsequent rapid cooling when you step out triggers a deep, restorative, healing sleep. To adopt this habit, you must stop viewing a bath as an occasional rare luxury. Make it a simple daily priority. Fill your bathtub with pleasantly hot water. Add some natural bath salts or a few drops of calming essential oil. Turn off the harsh bathroom lights. Soak for just 15 minutes before you go to bed, breathing deeply, letting the heat melt away every single ounce of tension. You will sleep like a child, and you will wake up with a body that feels miraculously renewed. The final habit is a profound philosophical mindset that protects our minds from the toxic venom of chronic anxiety. It is the practice of shogunai, which loosely translates to "it cannot be helped," or "it is what it is." To the Western ear, this might initially sound like defeat or pessimistic resignation, but it is actually the exact opposite. It is a brilliant strategy of radical, peaceful acceptance. In life, there are things we can control, our own actions, our own words, our own effort. And there is a massive ocean of things we cannot control, such as the weather, the passing of time, a delayed train, or the actions of other people. In the West, people endlessly agonize, complain, and fight against circumstances they have absolutely zero power to change. They raise their blood pressure, flood their bodies with toxic stress hormones, and lose countless hours of sleep crying over spilled milk. In Japan, when faced with an uncontrollable setback, we take a deep breath, shrug our shoulders gently, and say, "Shogunai, it cannot be helped." Why poison your own body with anger over a storm you did not create? This simple phrase is a psychological release valve. It prevents the deadly accumulation of chronic stress, which we know is the silent killer behind almost every major age-related disease. Shogunai teaches us to save our precious energy for the things we can actually improve and to gracefully, softly let go of the rest. To practice this immediately, you must catch yourself the next time you feel sudden anger or deep frustration over a minor, unchangeable inconvenience. Instead of clenching your jaw and complaining loudly to anyone who will listen, pause for 3 seconds. Acknowledge that the situation is out of your hands. Whisper shogunai to yourself. Release the tension in your shoulders, adapt to the new reality, and move forward with a peaceful heart. This ultimate acceptance is the shield that protects your longevity. True longevity is never born from a frantic, panicked struggle against the ticking clock. It blossoms quietly from a profound harmony between a respected body and a peaceful, accepting mind. When you combine the physical nourishment of mindful eating with the spiritual anchor of a deep life purpose, you create an internal environment where time slows down and vitality takes deep root. As promised at the beginning of our journey, there is one habit among all of these that our wise elders consider the absolute most important. It is the moai, the deep, unbreakable bonds of unconditional human connection. You can eat perfectly, exercise daily, and drink the finest tea in the world, but if you do it completely alone, your spirit will wither, and the body will soon follow. Love, belonging, and shared laughter are the true ultimate secrets to a long, beautiful life. They are the true ikigai that makes every extra year worth living. Tell me in the comments below, which of these 8 habits are you going to start practicing tomorrow morning? I truly want to read your thoughts. If this video brought you a moment of clarity, please watch the next video appearing on your screen right now where we explore the Japanese art of decluttering your mind. Thank you for sharing your precious time with me today. May your days be incredibly long, deeply joyful, and wonderfully peaceful. 2473